Sarah Gandy filling in.
It is a crazy old spring. The weather is all over the place. But still, even though there's apparently snow and rain and wind on the way, people have got hay fever. Not just people, though. It turns out that our dogs could also be suffering from hay fever.
See, I never knew this, but to talk about this is Darren the dog man, who's a canine behaviourist for dogs. Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm good. And I'm suffering from hay fever myself today, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible.
Have you got the same symptoms as our dogs might have? You know, itchy tail,
it's interesting.
That kind of thing?
Yeah, I've got itchy tail, yeah. It's interesting. They don't have the same kind of symptoms that we do, but mainly that itching is one of the biggest telltale signs, really.
Well, that was actually, because I've got 2 dogs, Darren, and one of them, he does this thing where, if you can imagine, like there's like bar stools at our kitchen bench, and he goes up, and honestly, I'll constantly hear this kind of like, you know, banging, and it's Pico rubbing his butt on the bottom of the bar stool. Is that a sign that he might be suffering from hay fever?
I do that as well, yeah.
I just thought he wasn't getting enough pats, but, you know...
If he's definitely licking that area and itching it, I mean, it could be a whole host of things, but it could be a sign of hay fever. Normally it's the feet and around the face and that kind of area.
The main symptoms to look out for, what are they, mate?
Yeah, so looking really for that itching under the armpits, in the groin area, and sort of around the muzzle and stuff like that. So redness and soreness in the feet, those kind of things. There's a couple of breeds that are more susceptible. So you've got your Dalmatian, your Irish Setter. We've got those. They're having a real problem at the moment. You've got poodles or any poodle cross, Schnauzer and Highland White Terrier, and the pit bull. They're the ones that really suffer with it.
Okay, well, what's the treatment? Is it easy? Can you buy it over the counter, or you got to go to the vet?
Yeah, so one thing you don't want to do is go and get the human medicine and give it to your dog. That's not advisable.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a vet, so I won't say what you treat, but get to your vets if they're itching, because it's quite debilitating for a dog. And you got to remember, if they're feeling quite yucky, I'm feeling quite yucky today, their behaviour is going to be different. So they might go to a park and they might do something a bit silly and out of character because they're just feeling yucky.
Is it just the pollen in the air that can cause it, Darren the dog man, or is it like if they went out and say rolled around in the grass, can that cause issues as well?
Yeah, so any way that pollen can get onto their skin or into their sort of noses, and it's going to cause a problem. On that note, and there's some couple of things that you can do just to limit the exposure, and it's the same for people. So walk your dog in the morning, early morning, because the pollen is still on the ground. It's not up in the air.
Oh, true.
And likewise, don't walk them around that 6 o'clock mark when the pollen starts to drop again. Keep their ears clean, because that's where all the pollen sort of gets stuck in their ears, especially the big ones like setters. And this is one that I don't do, but I probably need to do even more, actually, is wipe the coat down with a damp cloth, because that just picks up the pollen off the coat. It doesn't then work its way into the skin.
You know how some people put shoes on their dogs?
Oh, God.
Darren.
No.
Hey, if you can cope with the embarrassment of walking around with a dog in boots, then why not, yeah.
Exactly, mate. Hey, Darren the dog man, thank you so much. What's your website for people to look for?
Yep, it's www.mindfulnessfordogs.com with a number 4.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Darren.
Always good. We've got